Good. Sitting back on the backs of your heels towards the back of your mat. Let the hands drop to the side. Eyes closed, tuck the chin in a little bit. And you begin to observe your breath and what happens to the rib cage. As you breathe in, ribs go towards your elbows. As you breathe out, guide them towards the spine. Breath in and out. Do 3 rounds of that. After you've done 3 rounds, gently open your eyes. Begin to pull the shoulder blades towards each other. So you're really opening the front of the body. Hands are by the side, shoulder blades coming towards each other. This time the breath goes to the belly. Half close your eyes. Breath in, let the belly button move forward. As you breathe out, pull the belly button towards the spine. 2 more. Breath into the belly. And out. In. And out. Open your eyes. Begin to lean back a little bit. Plant your palms on the mat. Fingers are pointing towards your knees. Eyes are open. Exaggerate. Bring the shoulder blades towards each other and lift the sternum at the front. And then allow the back of the head to go into the shoulders. Awareness shifts to the very tops of your lungs. 2 breaths. Breath in. And out. Side out. Breath in. And come back up. Hold on to your feet or the sides of your hips. We're going to fold forward. Belly will go forward first. Breath in. As you breathe out, push the belly button forward. Stick the chin out at the front. Good. Belly goes on to the thighs. You gently fold down till the forehead is either on the mat or near the mat. If your bum comes away from the heels, that's fine too. Allow the elbows to drop towards the mat. Good. You're breathing against the pressure now. Go to the very back of your rib cage and feel the ribs moving. Breath in and out. In and out. As you breathe in, start to lift your face. Come up with the spine. And hands again by the side and bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Normal breaths. Still observing. Ribs moving towards the elbows. From there we stretch the spine out. So open the knees as wide as the mat. Let the hands go to the knees. And then as you breathe in, exaggerate. Push the belly button forward, lift the collarbones. Use the strength in your arms to lift up a little bit. Now, breath into the belly. As you breathe out, rotate forward again. Belly's going between the thighs. Use your hands on your knees and guide that forehead. Close your eyes, tuck the chin in, and let the forehead rest on the mat. When the forehead is on the mat, stretch the hands up towards the top of your mat. Getting a good grip on the mat. And begin Begin to pull the fingers forward and forehead remains on the mat. Breathe, belly expanding, belly contracting, breathing in and out. Good. Lift your face, start to walk the hands back till they're directly underneath the shoulders. Push, come back up. Bring the knees together and then come up onto your knees and tuck your toes onto the mat. And then nice and slow, sit back on the heels. Now this is not always comfortable. If it doesn't feel right, come up, put the fronts of the feet on the mat. If there is a cramp, you go straight into down face dog, releasing the cramp. Hands drop to the side, shoulder blades come towards each other, but this time see if the palms can face away from you. So you're rolling the shoulders out. And allow the hands to drift up. Look up between the fingers. Draw a line along the ceiling towards the back wall. You're putting a bit more weight on them toes and the toe joints. Let them work. And come back to the center. Let the hands drift sideways. Come up onto your knees. Fronts of the feet go on the mat. And then palms on the thighs. And you go and sit back just halfway. Just allow, hands nice and loose. Let the quads do the work. And if they're not working, then you go a little bit further. If they're working, you hold, feel. And then nice and slow, go and sit on the heels. Good. There's going to be plenty of twists coming in, so we just work away at it slowly. I'll be taking feedback towards at the end of the class. So we start with lying down, looking up at the ceiling. I know the lights are on, but we need the light to get this handsome guy onto the video. He says. Now there's plenty of space. Make sure you look after how you feel about what's happening this week, this month. And we start with our familiar supine twist. So you can work with eyes closed, open your arms wide in line with the shoulders, bend at the knees and plant your feet on the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Go with the feel. Good. Right foot goes on top of the left knee. Guide the right knee slightly away from your face. And then breath into the belly. As you breathe out, both the knees towards the right elbow. Both the knees towards the right elbow. Keep the left foot on the mat. Left foot on the mat. Good. Every exhalation allows you to take that left knee a little bit further down. A little bit further down. Eyes are closed. And you become aware of your right hip moving away, or your left hip moving away from your left shoulder. And in between there, the rib cage on the left and the left lung. Breath into the left lung and out. Into the left lung. And as you breathe out, twist, come back up. Continue to twist towards your left elbow till the right toes land on the floor. When that happens, reach with the left hand. Continue to guide that left knee towards the floor. Once again, eyes closed. Right shoulder blade on the mat. And then every exhalation, see if the knee can go towards the floor unless it's already on the floor. every exhalation, pull it down a little bit. The entire spinal region is on the move. So is the digestive system. Breathe, shallow breaths. Keep pulling the knee down. Engage with the right set of fingers, open them wide. Keep contact with the floor. And then nice and slow, take the right hand towards 10 o'clock along the floor. And then allow it to go to 11. You're listening to your body. Quite a lot of stretch in the armpit area. And then go all the way to 12, where the upper arm is by the right hand side of your face. Open the fingers nice and wide. And then push the right fingers away from the right shoulder. Pull the knee down a little bit. Breath in and out. Push the fingers a little bit. And start to bring the right hand back in line with the right shoulder. Eyes are open. Turn your head and look to your left. And slowly straighten out the right leg. Support the back of the knee from underneath, back of your palm and the back of the knee in contact. Lock the knee in. You're looking at your toes. Push the heel, pull the toes in, and then use the strength in the left arm to see if the toes will come towards the top of your head. As far as you can go. Good. Push the heel, pull the toes in. If you're looking at your toes, open the toes wide. And then scrunch them. And back to normal. And come back out of the posture. Keep the knees bent. Plant your feet on the mat. Arms remain wide, in line with the shoulders. Eyes closed. Feeling, observing the result of such a twist. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, pull the belly button towards the spine. We're talking quite a lot about lungs as we progress. The challenge we are facing at the moment is to do with the lungs. So become aware of what is it that you can do to help the movement and help the health of the lungs. From there we do the other side. Left foot on top of the right knee. Guide the left knee away from your face. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, you twist knees towards the left elbow. Keep the right foot on the mat. Don't go for distance. Go with what is happening in the body. Is this right shoulder blade? Is it on the mat? Guiding that left knee, the foot on top, guiding it towards the floor. Knowing the stretch you're getting in the right lung. So focus there, 2 breaths. Breath into the right lung and out. Into the right lung and out. Next time you breathe out, begin to twist at the spine, come back up, and continue the twist till your left foot, toes go onto the floor. Left shoulder blade remains on the mat, and you reach with the right hand and begin to guide that knee towards the floor. And the same process. Eyes are closed. Feel the stretch, your left tibial band, the left hip area. As you breathe out, can the knee go a little bit further if it's not already on the floor? Keep pulling the knee down with the right hand. Engage with the left set of fingers. Open the fingers wide. Keep contact with the floor And begin to draw that hand up. It's heading towards 12, but 2 o'clock is fine, 1 o'clock and 12. Shallow breaths, but the belly is moving. As you breathe out, push those left fingers away from the left shoulder. And bring the left arm back in line with the left shoulder. Eyes are open. Turn your head, look to your right. And slowly straighten out the left leg. Support the back of the knee with the right palm. And as you lock the knee in, you feel the hamstrings in the left legs engaging. Push the heel, pull the toes in, and start to bring the toes into line of sight. Breathe. Every exhalation, perhaps a little bit more, opening the toes wide, scrunching the toes, and coming back to normal. Release the posture. Keep the knees bent, plant your feet on the mat. Hands go by the side of the hips, palms are turned up. Then you join the soles of the feet and let the knees drop to either side. And your awareness now is in the muscles that are stretching from the insides of your thighs. Get to know them, the psoas, P-S-O-A-S, and the iliacus muscles. They go from the thigh bones, through the hips, to the top of the hip at the back, the iliac, and the psoas goes into lumbar 5 to 1. Quite a long, strong muscle. Let them stretch. Breath in and out. Observe your nostrils. Both the nostrils are open. Balance. Check the balance of the hips. Lift your head, look at your knees. Bring them back into line if they're not in line, and then let the head go back down. Knowing that the left and right hip joints, hip bones are in balance with the spine. Focus moves to the ball and socket joints at the hips. Keep the knees wide, keep the feet together, and nice and slow. Bring both the feet up towards your face. We're going into Balasana, the child posture. Reach from the insides of your knees. Hook your fingers on the outer edges of your feet. Soles of the feet remain together. Then bring the heels closer to the pubic bone. Now use the elbows to see if the knees will open a little bit further away. Use the elbows on the insides of the thighs. Keep hold of the outer edges of your feet. Keep the knees where they are. Now show the soles of the feet to the ceiling. And using the strength in the arms, see if you can pull the feet down a little bit. Knees are going past the rib cage, towards the mat. Nothing to break. Pull the knees down a little bit more. And let go, and plant the feet on the mat. Keep the knees bent. Keep the momentum going. Reach down, touch the backs of your heels. Satubandha, the bridge posture. Feet are hip width apart. Allow the toes a little bit of pigeon toe, so they're coming towards each other. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, push the pubic bone up towards the ceiling and peel the spine off the mat. Keep the palms on the mat, but go as high as you can. Listen to your knees. If it doesn't feel right, you come straight back down. Eyes are slightly open. Belly button lifts as you breathe in. Belly button down as you breathe out. And roll the spine down. When the hips are on the mat, you bring both the knees to the chest. Put your arms around the tops of your shins. Interlace the fingers if you want to. Then as you breathe out, bring the forehead up towards the knees. Really feeling where the body weight is now. So again, attention goes towards the spine and the back of the rib cage. Shallow breaths. Forehead towards the knees. And let the head go back down. When it's on the mat, start to rock from side to side. Now, plenty of room. So again, attention goes to the rib cage. Go right the way down till you drop down onto your elbow and feel the side of the rib cage being massaged. Slowly push, go to the other side. Be generous with this one. We're talking intercostal muscles between the ribs now. Quite deep muscles, 2-3 rounds of that. Go end to end. And you come back to the center, release the shins, plant your feet on the mat. We're going to take Satubandha that little bit further. And again, the key is to listen to your knees. They will react. If they do, you come straight back out of the posture. Touch the heels, a little bit of pigeon toe. And with the breath, as you breathe out, push the pubic bone up. Going again as high as you can, and then interlace the fingers underneath. Palms are facing towards your head. Shuffle at the shoulders and bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Eyes are open. Belly button lifts as you breathe in. Belly button collapses as you breathe out. That's your diaphragm working. Breath in. Push the belly up. And release the fingers, release the spine, walk it down. When the hips are on the mat, bring both the knees to the chest. Put your arms around the shins. As you breathe out, counter the posture. Bring the forehead up towards the knees. Body weight on the thoracic lumbar spine and the back of the rib cage. Keep hold of the shins. Let the head go back down. But this time, plant your palms on the kneecaps. Keep the knees together and then draw a nice circle on the ceiling with both the knees. 3 rounds one way. Your awareness goes to the sacroiliac joint, descending spine where it meets the hips. 3 rounds and then change the direction. 3 rounds the other way. Go where the massage is taking place. Sacroiliac joint, sensitive area. Come back when you're done. Release the knees and plant your feet on the mat. Breath in and out. Good. And we continue to move up the spine. But before we do that, let's just identify the muscles. So stretch the legs out. Place both your middle fingers onto the belly button. As you spread your thumbs wide along the rectus ab muscle, you find the edge of your 6-pack. Now feet are together. Just by an inch, 2 or 3 centimeters. Lift both the legs off the mat. Press the fingers, press the thumbs down. Feel the strength of the muscles at the front. Let the legs drop back down. Keep the pressure on the belly and the thumb. Just by an inch, right leg lifts up. Drop it back down. left leg, but just by an inch, engaging with which muscles allow you to do that. Drop it back down, and then both the legs. Feel the rectus ab engaging, hips engaging, and drop the feet down. Plant your palms by the side. Simply come up on your elbows. Just need to explain a little bit what we were doing. When you lifted both the legs up, the hips lifted up, and all 4 layers of muscles at the front engaged. External oblique, internal oblique, transverse abdominis, quite a corset-like muscle, and then the rectus ab, which you felt when you worked both the legs. When one leg was on the floor and the other one was being lifted, that's when those psoas and iliacus muscles we talked about, they come into play. So in some of these postures, you're using the front of the body, some of it you're using the deeper muscles. And that is going to be now a combination of all of those. So you know you've got the muscles. Am I right? Somebody say yes. Yes. It's being recorded. We engage all of those, and this is one of those postures which for me has been a real panacea for my spine, for my breathing, for my strength. So lie back down, and it's everybody's favorite. Bring both the knees to the chest. Cross your ankles. Grab hold of the big toes. Come at them from outside your knees. Good. Throughout the posture, you keep looking up towards the ceiling. Next time you breathe out, start to show the soles of the feet to the ceiling. And then continue that journey till the toes are ready to touch the floor beyond your head. Just focus on which muscles are being used. That's it, slow as you like. Coming close to the floor, keep hold of the big toes, and nice and slow, begin to roll back out. Bend at the knees, keep hold of the big toes, and let the outer edges of the feet go to the mat, and push the knees away from your face. So both anterior and posterior chain fully engaging. That's it. Outer edges of the feet go to the mat, push the knees away. So hip flexors also work. One more. Hold the big toes, slow as you like. Show the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Then continue that journey till the toes are ready to touch the floor or near the floor. But this time, hold the hands. Apply a bit more. Leave the toes where they are, wherever they are. Stretch the hands up towards the ceiling. Your palms are facing in, fingers pointing up. Good. Now slowly lift the legs up to 45 degrees. You're looking at your knees. Body weight is now on the shoulders, back of your head, and the center of your throat is in full squeeze. Good. When you're ready to come out, you're going to roll up into a sitting posture with cross legs and hand on each knee. Breath in and out. Why would anybody want to do that? I hear it, I can see it. It's really engaging now. This is the time we've been given the opportunity to understand the body. Yes, the focus may be on lungs and washing hands and all that. But what about the rest of the body? When the muscles work at your command, the body is listening to you. And that would be my wish. As I mature, I don't get old, I only mature like red wine. Gets better and better. So do you. Go with that attitude. We stay with the twists. Right hand on the left knee. Sweep the left hand around. Allow the fingers to be in pyramids as you place the pyramids on the mat. Get a proud posture at the front first. So push down, lift the collarbones up. So belly is nice and loose. Breath in to the belly. As you breathe out, begin to twist. Look over the left shoulder. Let the left fingers that are in pyramids, let them bend a little bit backwards. They're benefiting as well. Now close your eyes. Very deliberately loosen up the belly muscles. And go around that another inch or so if you can. Breathe. And start to come back to the front. Open your eyes. Hand on each knee. Collarbones lifting. Lumbar spine in a slight arch. Breath in. Let the belly move. Left hand on the right knee. Sweep the right hand around. Fingers are nice and wide. In pyramids, get a proud posture at the front. That's it. Breath in, breathing out. Slowly start to twist. You're going to be looking over the right shoulder. Move the right hand around if you need to. Eyes are closed. Loosen up the belly muscles. Go a little bit further around and hold. Breathe. Belly moving. Breathe. And start to come back out. Hand on each knee. Collarbones lift. Lower back arches. Our focus moves to the top of the hips, lumbar spine, and the big muscle at the back, latissimus dorsi, underneath the skin. It's a massive, long, big muscle. Let's stretch that one out. Move your feet by a good couple of inches forward. So you get this box-like structure at the front. Palms go onto the tops of the shins, palms facing in. Using the strength in the arms, you start to lift the collarbones up. So the lower back begins to arch. Belly button moves forward, really freeing up the diaphragm. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, start to rotate forward. Belly will go between the thighs. You start to tuck your chin in, close your eyes. See if the forehead is ready to land on the shin at the front, and some of you, the forehead will go on the mat. Brilliant. Release the palms, place the palms on the mat, see if the elbows can touch the tops of your feet, and the forehead towards the mat. Now make use of the posture. We're working with the back of the lungs, back of the rib cage. 3 breaths. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, pull the belly muscles towards the spine and feel the ribs at the back expanding. Breath in, belly loosens up. Exhale, pull the belly muscles in. Inhale. One more, nice and strong. Exhale. And start to walk your hands back, bring the head up. Spine comes upright. Hand on each knee. Use the support of the arms and straighten out the spine as much as you can. Bring the feet in a little bit. And again, a nice, comfortable posture. How are we doing so far? If it gets boring, lift your hand up and tell me to move on, okay? This is all part of the experiment, doesn't matter. This is all going out onto YouTube, if it works. Go with it, go within the body. You can feel how once our attention goes somewhere, energy follows. That's why we feel. When I go forward on that one, I want the back of my rib cage to be moving, because the ribs there, the lungs are at the back as well. And once they work, I really would like anybody who's got asthma or anything to do with the breathing sequence, work with awareness and the lungs will respond. It's like paying attention to somebody and they start to listen to you if you pay attention to it. Good. Stretch the legs out. Move a little bit towards the back of your mat. Hands go by the side. Palms on the mat. Press and lift the bum off the mat. So let the arms do the work a little bit. Hip is suspended. And come back down. Bring the right foot onto the inside of the left thigh. This is Janu Sirsanya. Janu means knee, Sir, head. So we're aiming to, again, focus. This time the focus will be on the left-hand side of the rib cage. And that's where the spleen lives. Spleen is a major component of the immune system. It works with the thymus gland, which is behind the sternum, and the spleen. It's about the size of a slightly open fist. Look it up, Google it. Everybody's got one. And the better it works, the better the immunity. We are into immunity at the moment. So let's work with this one. Right foot onto the inside of the left thigh. Sweep both the hands around, fingers nice and wide, fingers in pyramids. Press and lift up. So you're almost lifting everything above the spleen. Shoulder blades come towards each other. Push the heel away. Good. We're going to squeeze that area and use the breath. Keep the spine as upright as you can. Stretch both the hands up towards the ceiling, palms facing in, fingers nice and wide. Stretch up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, start to rotate forward. You're aiming for the toes. Shins are fine. Doesn't matter how far you get, but allow the belly to go towards the left thigh. And then let the forehead go towards the left knee. So there is Janu Sirsanya. Eyes remain closed. Our focus moves to the left side of the rib cage. 3 breaths. Breath into the belly. As you breathe out, pull the belly muscles towards the spine and massage that spleen. Breath in and out. Exhale. Inhale. Nice and strong. Exhale. And slowly start to release. Leave the left palm on the left knee, bringing the spine upright. Sweep the right hand around and place the whole palm on the mat and open the right shoulder a little bit. Good. Left foot drops in onto the mat. You come up on your right knee and stretch that left hand way beyond the back of your head and look up at the left fingers. Breathe, the left side of the rib cage. And start to come back out. Stretch both the legs out. Once again, continue to work with the arms. Arms go by the side. Palms are on the mat. Push the heels away. Push and lift the bum off the mat and suspend that spine. And come back down. So eventually building the habit. One of the things about this particular virus, and there are going to be many more, I'm sure, is the reason when we touch something and there may be a virus on it, we touch our mouth, wash it down. The acids in the stomach gets rid of the virus, corona in particular. So that's why get into sipping water. Don't worry what everybody else is doing, just focus on yourself. Start to bring in yoga classes for the next year or so. Bring a water bottle, take a sip. Let's do the other side. Left foot, you guys are very quiet. I was expecting a lot of swearing and screaming. Is it making sense?
Yes.
What I'm going on about?
Yeah.
That's it. Yes, so when people listen to it, hopefully they will get it as well. We'll see what happens. Stretch the right heel away. Sweep both the arms around. Fingers again in pyramids, so they're bending a little bit backwards. As you press down, lift up, roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Belly expands as you breathe in. Belly comes towards the spine as you breathe out. Keep the torso as upright as you can. Drift both the hands up, fingers wide, palms facing in. Stretch up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, fold forward. Again, aiming for the toes, but shins are fine. Back of the right knee going towards the mat, especially the tall ones. Then let the forehead go towards the right knee. Eyes are closed. Underneath the right-hand side of your rib cage, lots of digestive organs, liver, the gallbladder, the large intestines. Work that area. 3 breaths. As you breathe out, pull the belly muscles in. As you breathe in, you release the muscles. Exhale. Inhale. One more, nice and strong. Exhale. And start to release as you breathe in. Right palm is going to remain on the right knee. Sweep the left hand around and place the whole palm on the mat and open the left shoulder wide. Right foot drops in. You come up onto your left knee and sweep that right hand as far back as it's going to go. Looking up at the right fingers. Breathing into the right lung. And come back out. Release your legs. Take it a little bit further for the arms. So, hands again go by the side. Plant the palms on the mat. Push and lift the bum off the mat. But this time also bring both the feet in. So it's again the psoas iliacus muscle, deep in there. Let them work. Play the game a little bit. Stretch out the right leg along the mat. And you know which muscles would be working to allow you to do that. Bring the right leg back. Let the left leg go along the mat. Good. Bring the left foot back, and then both the legs. And gently drop back down. And the posture will build as we work away with it. Good. And it really does take quite a lot of work to do that. So building the strength in the carpal tunnels is one of the purposes for that one. Good. Find yourself in a comfortable sitting posture. We are about halfway, so I want to do a little bit of breathing sequence again. And we'll explain a bit more about the lungs. So if it is comfortable, you're going to sit with crossed legs. If need be, use a block so that the hip can tilt forward if you're sitting on the edge of it. And that opens up quite well. Spine, backs of your wrists, if you're okay with it, go on to the knee, onto the knees, and as the index fingers and the thumbs link up, that's your cue to straighten out the upper spine, so the back muscles engage. Keep your eyes open. Let's just talk a little bit so we know what's happening within the lungs. Knowing, developing the knowledge as you wish. Your right lung, like mine, is larger or bigger than the left lung. So there are 3 lobes in the right lung and 2 in the left. And it also accommodates the heart. But each lung contains 73 million alveoli. I visualize them as little balloons, and they work. If not all of them don't work, I don't get enough exchange of energy within my body. So in yoga philosophy, we talk about prana, which is that energy which we know is there, but we can't see it. We can't measure it. But there is an abundance of it. So from abundance, he took abundance, and abundance remained. So you're not stealing anybody's share. Take as much of the prana as you can. So those 73 million alveoli on one, 73 on the other side. The other fact, 80% of the capillaries in the lungs are in the lower 2/3 of the lungs. So if you have that habit of breathing in the tops of your lungs, you're not getting your fair share. Nobody's denying it to you, but you're not getting your fair share. Breathe and get out of this business of my belly looks. No, belly is there to be used. When the diaphragm presses down, it presses the liver down and the large intestine, and the belly moves forward. And you take as much as you can. And as you exhale, you let go of it as much as possible. Close your eyes. Get an image first of your right lung, 3 lobes. See if you can see all the 73 million balloons. That's a big number. Give them some color. Red ones, blue ones, white, purple ones, green. As you breathe in, every one of the alveoli opens, especially if you are breathing in the bottom of your lungs. As you breathe out, the diaphragm lifts up, squeezes the lungs from below. Good. Eyes open. Let's just have a look at it again. And I use this on a daily basis because I want my lungs to be as efficient as they can be. The pranayama is called Kapalabhati. One of its literal translation is small bellows. So all we're going to do is these layers of muscles we have, we're going to use them. And use the muscles to push the diaphragm up, which means it allows us to exhale. As it drops down, it allows us to inhale. So it's the same breath going out and in. I'll demonstrate and then talk it through with you. It will start when at the moment, just have a look. It's a full exhalation. Halfway up, inhale, and use the muscles. It's like trying to light a fire. So you count up to 10, 15, 20, 25, whichever one suits you. We're going to do 3 rounds of it, and it's going to be a real champagne hit. That's oxygen, the result of good exchange of gases in the body. If it doesn't feel right, you stop and observe. Eyes are closed, chin slightly tucked in. You start with a complete exhalation. Pull the belly button towards the spine and empty the lungs as much as you can. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And use the muscles. Exhale fully. Pull the belly muscles in. Lift your face. Fill up to the very top. And shut your breathing. And let go. And normal breaths. For those of you who are familiar with it, go with a count of up to 30 Kapalabhati, and then finish with the exhalation, face lifts, fill up, and shut the breathing. Second round. Exhale fully. Squeeze the belly muscles. Halfway up, inhale. Use the muscles. Exhale fully. Lift your face, fill up to the top. And shut the breathing. And let go. Eyes remain closed. Normal breaths. Third round. Exhale fully. Empty the lungs as much as you can. Exhale, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Use the muscles. And exhale fully. Lift your face, fill up to the top. And shut the breathing. And let go. Normal breaths. Good. Gently open your eyes. Any questions? Yeah. There will be different variations, yes? You're moving, your mind moving well and all that. I mean, these are all self-judgments. Let go of that. Just focus on getting that breathing right. I find that sets the day for me. So when I wake up, yeah, she sometimes gets annoyed, but 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's not too bad. The whole day sets up nicely with this kind of energy. Right, we're moving up the body. We stay with the twists. You notice we haven't done any standing postures. Because when this goes out and somebody starts to use it, remember I'm not there, so that's my liability. And that's why we're going to do this morning session with no standing postures. So people can practice without me worrying about somebody saying, you told me to do this and I've broken my collarbone or whatever. It's not going to happen. So thread the needle, one of the finest of the postures. In your own time, sit back on the backs of your heels towards the very back of your mat. Hands go by the side. Shoulder blades come towards each other. Prepare well for this, because you know, some of you have been doing this for quite some time. You know that every muscle and the joints in the body are going to work. Allow the knees to be as wide as the mat. Let your hands go onto your thighs. Get a good grip on what we call the quadricep muscles and engage with them as you start to lift the bum slowly away from your heels. You're going to come up on your knees are wide, and they are working, the quads are working. Fold forward and plant your palms on the mat. Big toes are touching, knees are wide, palms directly underneath the shoulders. Good. Right hand walks behind the left along the floor. Keep looking down till your right shoulder drops to the mat. Right shoulder to the mat. Then engage all the neck muscles. Turn your head. Some of you getting the back of the head on the mat. Good. Then release the left hand up. Allow the fingers to be nice and wide and let them disappear a little bit from peripheral vision. So the front rotator cuffs are working on the left shoulder fully. The whole of the cervical spine, which is your neck, thoracic spine and the rib cage on the move. This would be level 1. You don't need to go any further if you don't want to. Level 2, left set of toes tucked onto the mat, and you slowly straighten out the left leg. Pay attention to your right knee. If it's not comfortable, you release the posture. Some of you getting the back of the left hand onto the floor behind you. That's quite a range. Pay attention to the right knee. Well done. This is second level. If you want to take it further, the stretch leg begins to lift up towards the ceiling. Now it's about balance. And then you slowly bend at that left knee, reach and grab hold of the front of the left foot. Push the knee away from the face a little bit, and then the right foot comes up and you find the arch with your knee. The worst that can happen is you fall over, but that's fine too. Once you've found the knee and the arch, release that left foot, stretch it out, and release the left hand. Let it go beyond your head, the back of the palm going towards the floor. That's it. Good. And start to come back out. And sit back on the backs of your heels with the knees wide. Now, perfectly normal if you lose the balance, because the world is already quite a lot upside down. Where is my left leg? Where is my left eye? Where is my, all these things will come in. As the practice builds up, you find the balance comes. Sometimes the left-hand side is a little bit difficult than the right, depending upon whether you're left-handed or right-handed. But then, hey, if it was easy, what's the point? Let's do the other side. Hands go onto your thighs. Give me a smile, Chris. That's better. You're on camera. Slowly lift your bum away from your knees. Good. Fold forward, plant your palms on the mat. They're directly underneath the shoulders. Knees remain as wide as the mat. That's where your balance is going to come from. Big toes touching. Left hand behind the right, along the floor, till the left shoulder drops to the mat. Then you turn your head and look up towards the ceiling. If all is well, release the right hand up and let the fingers disappear a little bit from peripheral vision. So you're opening the right rotator cuffs as well. That's it. Now, hold the hands. Go with eyes closed. Second level, right toes on the mat. Start to straighten out the right leg. Feel the back of the right hand going towards the floor behind you. Wonderful. Stretched leg begins to lift up. You bend at that right knee. Slowly reach and grab hold of the right foot. And then bring the left foot up. And find the arch with the knee. Excellent. Release the right foot, let the right leg straighten out, and let the right hand go beyond your head towards the top of your mat, with the palm facing up. That's the way. Brilliant. And slowly come back out. Come back to sitting on the backs of your heels. Well done in the corner. Fabulous. Tremendous. So we'll soon finish off with one more need for the lungs. We know the construct of it. Of course, there's a lot of nerves and a lot of arteries and capillaries and lymphatic system. All of that is in and around that area. One of the things that happens in all the lungs, everybody's lungs, is fluids collect at the base of the lungs, which is quite normal. Every now and then, if we can move that fluid, that's like washing the inside. I like the sound of that one. As the fluids move, all the alveoli are getting a big wave, cleansing the seashore, if you like. So we have our Bakasana posture, which we practice regularly. It's a tremendous party piece, so learn it and teach it to others when you can. I'll demonstrate it and then I'll talk you through with it. Follow with the rules of it so we don't do any harm. I'm on my knees, my wrists are touching the knees as I fold forward, palms are on the mat. Then I move the palms a palm length forward. As I bend at the elbows, my forehead is beyond my fingers. As I push my body forward, I come onto the crown of my head. Level 1, toes tucked onto the mat, and I push the bum up. The lungs, as you can see, are already starting to get slightly inverted. Level 2 would be to float the knees onto the backs of the upper arms. Breathe. When that's done, drop the toes, knees, forehead, and back up. And let that fluid move. It's a visualization, nothing to